एक्साइटेड इसलिए हैं बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली आपको पता है
ज़रा यूनिवर्सिटी का ज़माना याद आ गया। ये दो यूनिवर्सिटियों के रिस्पेक्ट जिसे कहते हैं ना, ब्रोशर या पर्सपेक्टिव्स हमारे पास मौजूद हैं।
अच्छा, व्हेन यू आर आउट ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी ना, तो बहुत सी चीज़ें ऑलरेडी फुर हो जाती हैं आपके दिमाग में, लेकिन वो एक्सपीरियंस आपको याद रहता है बिकॉज यूनिवर्सिटी इज़ अ लॉट मोर देन जस्ट स्टडीज़ एंड एजुकेशन। इट्स पूरा एक होलिस्टिक, आपकी पर्सनैलिटी एक डेवलप करती है। तो इसलिए कोशिश हमेशा यही होती है कि आप बेहतरीन जो आपके पास ऑप्शन हो आप वहाँ जाएँ। तो ऑप्शंस की चूँकि हम बात कर रहे हैं तो पाकिस्तान में जी एक ज़बरदस्त किस्म का जिसको एक कॉलेज फेयर कह सकते हैं हो रहा है
कराची, लाहौर और इस्लामाबाद। आज कराची में शाम को मुख्तलिफ इनफैक्ट 19 बैरून मुल्क अमरीकी यूनिवर्सिटियों के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव आए हुए हैं। अगर आप सीरियस हैं तो आप ऑनलाइन रजिस्टर करें eduusa.pk पे। दोबारा से मैं वेबसाइट बता रहा हूँ, eduusa.pk पे आप रजिस्टर करें जाके। पूरा एजुकेशन है, eduusa.pk पे आप रजिस्टर करें जाके। आपको खुद ही वहाँ से वेन्यू का मालूम हो जाएगा और आप इन 19 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव से बात कर सकते हैं। एंड आउट ऑफ दोज 19 वी हैव 2 रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स फ्रॉम 2 reputed यूनिवर्सिटीज़ ऑफ USA। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ न्यू हैम्पशायर से आई हैं मेडिसन फेरेरी, शी इज़ रिप्रेजेंटिंग इट। एंड यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ब्रिजपोर्ट से वी हैव केनेथ देसाई। How are you doing, guys?
Wonderful.
Very good. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here. And we are very curious. This is not your first time here in Pakistan. Pakistan keeps bringing you, calling you back here.
Rather, who keeps bringing you here?
Exactly. That should be the first question. But Medicine, I'll start with you. We'll get right down to it. Why should Pakistani students opt for University of New Hampshire? Let's suppose.
So, University of New Hampshire, along with other universities in the U.S., have a lot of benefits and flexibility for undergraduate students to not be completely sure about, what they want to do with their career maybe 10 years down the line, but they can come to the United States and study in a degree and have options to take a few courses and then declare their major, which is something that's, I think, unique to the US, where students can come, they can change their major once they arrive. That being said, the level
But isn't that the same for any university? Because, you're so young when you go and there has to be an option for you to maybe find your calling, what you want to do later on. So you can change at any time your majors?
Typically, once you are in university for a year or two, that's when you will need to declare your major. Some students will know right away, and then they'll start, and then they'll complete their degree within about 4 years. But sometimes students may decide, if they go into engineering and say, you know what, linguistics is actually something I'm more interested in, then they have that flexibility to change their major.
All right, Kenneth, there are a few names that we are all aware of that people like to opt for, but University of Bridgeport, you already have a handful of Pakistani students studying there, and this is your 3rd time here to impart knowledge and recruit students and create awareness about this university. What programs do you offer, and are there scholarships available for deserving students here in Pakistan?
Yeah, Abdullah, we have 10 students from Pakistan that are currently studying on campus, and with COVID, we had an opportunity to have a little bit of a break, and more of our activity was focused on virtual recruiting. This is our opportunity to come back to the Pakistan and meet the students face to face. Many of the students that we had the opportunity to meet with talked and expressed concern about the cost of higher education, which I don't think is any different than many of our families face in the United States. I work for a University of Bridgeport, that makes a commitment to making education affordable for our students, not only for our undergraduate students, but also for our graduate students as well. And it's really a seamless process where students are applying for admissions, and simultaneously they're being considered based upon their academic record what that scholarship will be. For our undergraduate students, students can receive up to $20,000 annually for their scholarship.
Wonderful.
For our students on the graduate level, those students can receive up to $4,000 annually.
Not bad. I'm sure students who are
and then they can work along as well. And
okay, but I'm curious.
afford their own education and
what are
expenses.
you looking for in a student? So, who would be an ideal, candidate? Okay, I'll start with you, Edson. Who's an ideal candidate? These are the kind of, young people that we would like in our university.
Yeah, so we're looking for students to have academic success, so that they've done well in their previous studies, as well as have good communication skills.
That's important.
Yeah, and have demonstrated that they've overcome challenges. Traveling from Pakistan to the US will be a challenge in adapting to the new environment for a lot of students, especially at the undergraduate level, when they're a little bit younger per se. And so seeing within their transcripts if they've done well over time, as well as in statements of purpose, talking about times where they've overcome challenges, as well as letters of recommendation from faculty or teachers in the past to kind of highlight some of those aspects.
Is there a special opportunity for women and young girls who are watching us right now? Because, a lot of families do send their boys for the higher education to countries like US and UK. But there are lesser opportunities, let's be honest, for women.
No, opportunities are there, but the concerns are massive.
But the concerns are there.
So security and
other issues as well. So we are certainly a conservative society. So how do you address that?
Well, what I would share, like yesterday we had the opportunity to visit 2 universities here in Karachi, and I met with many female students that had an interest in studying. And I asked them the question, I said, how do your parents feel about you exploring an opportunity to study abroad? And more often than not, more of the families want them to get that experience of higher education abroad. We do share information regarding safety of our students in the campus. I feel very fortunate to work with a university that has a strong security within the campus compound that makes the students aware that they are still in a city environment, but it is a safe environment for those students.
All right, so when students are applying for the universities like University of Bridgeport, so there's usually a general form that they would have to fill to tell the university about themselves. So what is that one particular thing or a few things that would make a student stand out from the rest that you would certainly consider, all right, we should consider that this young boy or young girl?
Abdullah, what I would share with you is that if a student can convey that passion for that career path that they have, I think that's important to us. Because in the United States...
How would you determine that passion?
Well,
would you have an interview conducted, or would you just read whatever they have written in their form?
This is a perfect opportunity for us as we're meeting the students one-on-one, whether it's in high school or with some of the other colleges that we'll be visiting with during our tour program. It's just trying to understand what that needs and desires are for the students, not only their education, but for their career path. I think critical for us is that there are 4,000 colleges in the U.S. Which one is right for that particular student? So we do a lot of interaction with the students, trying to understand what those needs are. And if I can find a match with the University of Bridgeport, that's great. If I can't, Madison's program might be a great alternative.
Or some other program.
Since both of you, have been here before, I'm just curious to know, what are the similarities between students here in Pakistan and, back in the US? Do they have anything in common? The concerns, are they the same? Because obviously these are 2 drastically different parts of the world with different opportunities.
Go ahead.
I'll just say, I think that the students, if students are, being prepared through the education system, we have extremely successful Pakistani students coming out of universities in the U.S. that are in the same classrooms as American students and doing perfectly well amongst themselves. So I think that, again, the concerns are the same, being on campuses and wanting to be challenged by their programs, being in a diverse environment, a fun environment that's promoting a learning experience is really important for both both students as well as a safe environment too. So I think there are a lot of similarities that the students are looking for.
Okay, we are going to translate a little bit of everything that you said, क्योंकि ये opportunity जो है जितनी इनसे बात कर रहे हैं ज़बरदस्त किस्म की है, इसलिए भी क्योंकि इन यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के representatives वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, तो अगर स्टूडेंट्स अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ जाते हैं और पेरेंट्स के तो बहुत ही कंसर्न्स होते हैं, तो आप मतलब
आप सवालों की बौछार कर सकते हैं,
आप कर सकते हैं, इनके पास सारे जवाब हैं जो आपके कंसर्न्स हैं, बच्चों को बाहर भेजना, स्कॉलरशिप, सिक्योरिटी, ये जो बेसिक हमारी चीज़ें होती हैं, बेस्ट तो ये है कि आप इन पर्सन, आप फेस टू फेस बात कर सकते हैं।
और ये दो यहाँ मौजूद हैं, 19 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव आए हुए हैं पाकिस्तान। education.usa.pk पे जाके आपने रजिस्टर करना है, वेन्यू वगैरह आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद वहीं से पता लग जाएगा। आज कराची में ये सेशन हो रहा है, इसके बाद लाहौर इस्लामाबाद में भी होगा। So you have been here before as well, and you have interacted with the students and their parents as well, and you have been here before as well. So who is bringing you and other university representatives to this part of the world?
We work right now with Education USA. That really kind of acts as more of a conduit between the U.S. institutions and the students that are here. And it's not only just getting that opportunity to meet with the students on the undergraduate and the graduate level, but we are also getting the opportunity to meet with many of the educators and counselors at the high schools and at the universities to help to build a rapport. Long-term relationships are important between the University of Bridgeport and our colleagues here in Pakistan.
Okay, one thing that I've noticed, because going through this prospectus, there are so many disciplines that we are not even familiar with here in Pakistan. So I'm just, curious, when Pakistani students go to states, do they pick up the very, very common, well-known disciplines?
Some of the STEM programs.
To do their, graduation in, or are they adventurous enough to go with the disciplines? There are so many. I mean, I will just, for one, आपको interest होगा ये देखे कि masters program है acupuncture में. ये बड़ी एक स्पेसिफिक किस्म के मेरा ख्याल है डिसिप्लिन है, बहुत ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स हम इनसे बात कर रहे थे नहीं जाते होंगे, लेकिन चीज़ें जो हम इधर अब्दुल्ला नहीं देखते. So what do Pakistani students prefer?
Generally, we found a lot of our Pakistani students applying into some of our STEM programs and our business programs. Although at one of our university visits, I was surprised to hear a lot of interest in some of our MBA and business programs at our university. But typically engineering, computing, that's what we see.
Computer sciences.
We computer science, the engineering programs. Yesterday, and it might have been the two universities that we went to visit, the Institute of Business Administration and the Institute of Business Management. Right. I had so many students that had interest in the MBA programs, but a lot of times that there's some sub-disciplines. So students had interest in human resources, they had interest in supply chain management, finance, which all fall under the MBA program at University of Bridgeport.
All right.
बहुत options हैं, बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं, और इनके अलावा भी, sorry, I have to keep, so that as many students as who are watching us, can take advantage of the fact that you guys are here, क्योंकि बहुत ज़बरदस्त किस्म की चीज़ें भी हैं कुछ.
All right, so guys, if you're interested to study abroad, particularly USA, तो Education USA आपके लिए एक बेहतरीन opportunity लेकर आया है. ये sessions physically हो रहे हैं after a long break of COVID, when the world was virtual.
उसमें भी हो रहे थे, लेकिन
उसमें भी हो रहे थे, but it is always better to meet people in person and ask your questions, and they would address your concerns as well. So जो मशहूर अमेरिका की यूनिवर्सिटियां हैं, वहाँ हर किसी को तो दाखिला नहीं मिलता, ना कोई हर कोई जा सकता है, बट अदरवाइज इसके अलावा भी क्वालिटी एजुकेशन की बेतहाशा अनलिमिटेड ऑप्शंस हैं, जिसमें से 19 यूनिवर्सिटियों के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव आज आए हुए हैं कराची, उसके बाद इस्लामाबाद, लाहौर जाएंगे एजुकेशन यूएसए के ताउन से, और इनसे आप मिल सकते हैं educationusa.pk पे जाकर रजिस्टर करने के लिए.
बड़ी यूनिक अपॉर्चुनिटी है.
So is there anything that you would like to tell all those students who are watching this, potential students and their parents are watching you guys right now, what should or what can they expect when they meet you in person in today's session?
Yeah, Abdullah, what I would share with the families is to come out together. It's usually it's the family dynamics of making that decision of what that right institution is. Be open, share as much about yourself and what those aspirations are, so that we have the ability to share with you. Maybe this is a potential match for us. We're looking to again to globalize our campus. Right now we have representation from 80 countries with over 1,300 international students, and we're looking to grow.
Wonderful.
Medicine, what about you?
Yeah, I'll say that we're looking forward to talking with new students and families if they're able to join us and treat it as almost like an advising session and really get down to, is our university the right fit? And go from there.
And you can also help them determine what their real interest is.
Exactly.
What can be the right subject or field of study of education for them can be.
Exactly.
Do you also provide counseling for that?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kenneth
Medicine and Kenneth for being here
with us. I hope you're having a good time here in Pakistan.
Yes,
we are.
Definitely. Thank you.
Awesome. तो फिर लिहाजा आप जा सकते हैं जो सवाल आपके दिमाग में आ रहे हैं ना, क्योंकि बहुत से होते हैं और वो आप जब लिखना स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं तो आपको पता नहीं होता कि क्या पूछें, किससे पूछें, ये होंगे वहाँ।
So बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स जो ऑफर कर रहे हैं उसमें से अगर आपको अभी नहीं समझ आ रही है कि आपके लिए कौन सा प्रोग्राम अच्छा हो सकता है तो these guys can always help you. ये यहाँ पे इसीलिए मौजूद हैं representative of the universities to help you and guide you that which program is the right fit for you and which university can be the right place for you to go and study abroad, and scholarships be available. And for all those who are concerned that they would not be able to afford it, तो उनके लिए there are many opportunities. So you can always go and discuss it.
चलो अब पता चल गया कि आज आप क्या कर रहे हैं और उसके बाद of course लाहौर और इस्लामाबाद में